The first rule is to just relax and enjoy it. Enjoy the nature, you know, get your casting right. That relaxed approach just increases your chances of actually catching one as well. But as soon as you get a hang of it, it's really, really great fun.
At just 28 years of age, when he should have been entering the peak of his football career, injury forced Vegard Heggem to hang up his boots. But as one door closed for the Norwegian fullback, another opened, and the opportunity to pursue a lifelong ambition presented itself, one a world away from the pressures of top-flight football.
I grew up here on the banks of the Orkla, on my childhood farm, and I've got a passion for fishing, for salmon fishing. The Atlantic salmon is one of the really iconic fish of the world. It's a big fighter. If you hook it, your heart starts pumping straight away. It's so strong. I can't imagine a better job than being hosts for fishermen from all over the world that come here to fish for Atlantic salmon. I grew up on this farm, 1.5 hours outside Trondheim. When I moved away from the farm to play football and eventually end up in Liverpool, I started to think a little bit about what to do when my playing days were over. And the thought of building a salmon fishing lodge on my childhood farm sounded like a very interesting thing to do. So as soon as I moved back, I got stuck into this project here. So that's what I've been running now for the last 12, 13 years. It's a very short fishing season for salmon in Norway. The wild salmon has been a fish under a lot of pressure, comes into conflicts often with different interests like hydropower production, like mining, and more recently fish farming. So we have to be very careful about how much fish we take out of the river. But I think salmon fishing is not about, you know, catching food for your family. It's an experience, a very strong nature experience that many people travel very long distances to experience.
Just like a footballer getting ready for a new campaign, Heggem is busy getting ready for the latest fishing season, but is never too far from the reminders of his playing days.
Okay, now we're down at Aunan Lodge. It's the last week now before the fishing season starts, so it's a busy time getting everything ready for the opening day. The name Aunan has evolved from a word meaning deserted, and there are 4 cabins, and the main cabin is right over there, and it's called Anfield. This cabin I've decorated with memorabilia from my playing time. So this picture is a bit special. It was taken in connection with the club winning 5 trophies. This was also at a time in 2001 where I really struggled with injuries. The only cup that I won that season was the UEFA Cup. So it was a bit of a frustrating time, but also, of course, it's great to see your team and your teammates win trophies. This lodge is about fishing, but I feel that many of my guests think that my footballing career is an interesting story, and you know, and if they ask, I'm not difficult. I like it myself to relive some of the memories. So yeah, it's a good combination to run a lodge like this and also to take some of your history with you in it. An AC Milan shirt. It's Paolo Maldini's shirt from the Champions League in 96-97 season. It was a great game, big game for Rosenborg and for myself as well. We needed to win at San Siro to qualify for the next stage. And obviously nobody gave us any hopes of winning that game, but we beat them 2-1. I scored the winning goal. It has become, I think, an iconic game, iconic results in Norwegian football history, and it's fantastic to have been playing a part in that.
Heggem hasn't turned his back from football completely, however. A former Rosenborg star, the 40-year-old has recently rekindled his bond with his boyhood club.
Well, it's now my 5th year as an elected board member for Rosenborg. I think it's nice to still be involved in football at some level, and I never really wanted to go into managing, so now as a board member I'm involved in running the club, not on a day-to-day basis, but make long-term plans and sort of also look after the values of the club. And Rosenborg is like Liverpool without comparison, but still by Norwegian standards it's a big club with a very proud history, so it's a great honor to serve on the board. Rosenborg should be the #1 team in Norway. We won the double last season. It's looking good so far this year, but Rosenborg had a terrific run in the 90s and early 2000s, competing in the Champions League. We haven't been there now for quite a few years, so there is a hunger in the city and in the club getting back into the Champions League.
Etter suksess med Stig Inge Bjørneby, Øyvind Leonardsen og Bjørn Tore Kvarme er Liverpool på jakt etter nok en Rosenborg-spiller. Vegard Heggem er sterkt ønsket av den engelske storklubben, men Rosenborg vil beholde ham ut sesongen.
Mye tyder på at Vegard Heggem blir neste Rosenborg-spiller til England og Liverpool. Etter det TV 2 erfarer, har fakslinjene glødet mellom Anfield og Lerkendal den siste tida. Men hva vet hovedpersonen selv om saken?
Nei, jeg vet at det er aktuell, ja.
Men vet noe mer?
Nei, ikke noe mer enn at det kommer en henvendelse fra Liverpool til Rosenborg, og at de vil ha meg, så det ønsker å se om de blir enige.
Hvor interessant er Liverpool for Vegard Heggem?
Det er klart det er veldig interessant det.
Så det sier du ikke nei til?
Nei, det gjør ikke jeg. Jeg har lyst til det.
Around that time in 97-98, I think Norwegian players were quite popular in other leagues. And my agent came up with me with several different opportunities, exciting ones from Spain, but he told me that also Liverpool was one of the interested clubs. And then for me there was no doubt.
His start on Merseyside was encouraging, and quickly he adapted to the pace and ferocity of the Premier League, making 61 appearances in all competitions in his first 2 seasons at the club.
Pushing the Borough defence back all the time. Cuts infield, still Heggem, 3 around him, surely no chance here! What a wonderful chip! Bjornby. It's Heggem! Top left corner, in the postage stamp. An absolute beauty of a first goal at Anfield.
During the Norwegian's first 2 seasons at Anfield, he made no fewer than 61 appearances in a red shirt. The following 2 yielded just 4.
Heggem's gone down injured. Some concern for Liverpool about that injury. The way he's holding the back of his leg there, it looks like a possible hamstring problem. And if the hamstring's gone again, and I have to say that looks to be the problem, well, he's unlikely to be able to continue.
Unfortunately, this would become an all too familiar sight during his time at Anfield, as injuries began to plague his Reds' career. Heggem made just 4 appearances in Liverpool's treble-winning season of 2000 to 2001, but despite the disappointment, he remains philosophical about his experiences.
There wasn't much I could have done differently, because I was unlucky with injuries. I had 65 games for the first team. I would have loved it to be more games, of course, but it was something that was out of your control. You did your very best to get fit, back playing again. I thought the club did everything they could to make me fit. I think rather than being regretful or bitter about the games you didn't get, I rather tend to appreciate those games that I've got to play. I had some great experiences. I've scored in front of the cup. What more can you really wish for?
What a fine goal by Vegard Heggem!
And I had the chance to play at my full potential. I got to prove myself. Obviously, I'd like to do it for a longer period of time, but that didn't happen. But at the end of the day, I just appreciate the time that I had. Liverpool fans, they are generous in general, and I think as long as you put on your shirt and you do your best, they have a lot of time for you. You know, I was an attacking style defender, so I had a good pace. I like to go forward and contribute in attacking, and I think such a playing style can easily appeal to a fan as well. So I had 5 absolutely wonderful years at the club as a player, also just living in Liverpool with the people there. When I go there now as a supporter, sometimes I have to pinch my arm to just think I've been a part of this as a player. It's something that you take with you for the rest of your life. I think you have different eras in life. To having played for Liverpool was great, but now I'm here, I'm doing different things, so I can't really say that I miss it. That was something I did then, and it was fantastic. Now I'm here. I think it's a dream job for me now. It's just a shame that the season is so short.